So here's a truck I picked up not too long ago. It's a pretty decent truck. I actually got it through a trade. Custom Deluxe 10. Crusty. We got 6 lugs here. We got 8 lugs there. Well, happens, I guess. Take a little walk around to this one. It's a good truck. Get some more crust. Go ahead and pop the hood. Make it easy on you. Got the old Chevrolet V10 factory rag stuff. So the problem I'm having with this truck is the fuel pump. When I first got this truck, I had the typical switch valve issue that the dual tanks have, trying to switch it over from one tank to the other. And I actually tried to replace that. There's the switch for it right there. I tried to replace the valve down there and didn't seem to work. And then I replaced the fuel pump. That didn't seem to work. I couldn't get it to prime. Had all kinds of issues. So I just plumbed it from one tank and just left that tank right there on the driver's side is brand new. This tank is old. So what I did, let's put that old Edelbrock fuel pump on there from one tank and just avoided this tank. Problem I'm having now is this is not working, and from what I hear, these are not the best fuel pumps. So did some research and I found another pump I think is going to work a little bit better. So I'm going to try to get that installed today, get this thing running. It's been down for quite a bit. So this is kind of one of my crusty haulers, I call it. It's in good shape though. It's got a new exhaust all the way through. A couple of little exhaust leaks, nothing bad. Oil leaks, so you know there's oil in there. It's got headers on it, long tube headers. All that good stuff. So anyway, let's see if we can get this out of here and get my replacement in here. I am not replacing it with the Edelbrock. Show you what I got. Here's what I'm going with. The Carter P4594. This particular fuel pump has got some good reviews, and seems to be that it lasts a lot longer than most of the other ones. So I've also heard when you order one of these, make sure that you get one with a serial number on it that says that it's an authentic Carter and not a knockoff Chinese Carter. Comes with a bracket, everything you need to mount it up, little rubber bushings, and I don't think I'll be using those hose clamps, but I do like using these when they're not going to be seen, especially up underneath the truck. In case I ever have a problem with this in the future or I'm on the road, these are real easy to take off and put back on. So I like using these in an area where they're not going to be seen much. Got a little extra 3/8 fuel hose. I went ahead and bought some heat shroud, line hose protection. It's good stuff. And some cool tape also, just in case I get around the exhaust much. I love these Wix 33003. These are really good, clear fuel filters. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and assemble this thing. See if we can find a place to install it down there and get that little needle rock off of there. What's going on? Alright. Let's see what we got in here for parts. Three-eighths inlet and outlet. Rubber bushings. 1, 2, 3 nuts. Bolts, I should say. 1, 2, 3 nuts. Washer, lock washer, lock washer, lock washer. Alright. So this thing can be mounted in a couple of different ways. Obviously, those 3 prongs will go up in here. Mount this way, or you can mount sideways, or however your configuration is needed. I think for my configuration, I'm just going to mount it like this, or maybe even like that, where inlet and outlet go one way or the other. I'll get down there and see my orientation in and out are clearly marked on here as well. Oh, the chickens are coming around. You can see those or not. Curious little chickens. So, very hot out here today, by the way. If you see me sweating, it's because it's still hot. From a screwdriver. I'm going to stab myself here. See, the objective is to get this little split washer kind of thing through here where it's isolating the vibrations. See? So I don't necessarily want to mount this just yet in here because I won't be able to mount it to my frame, and I haven't decided completely whether I might be mounting it this way. So lots of configurations here. You guys do it the way you need to do it as far as mounting this in here. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to mount that, whether it'll be this way or this way, one way or the other, up underneath the truck. So we'll get up underneath the truck there, and I guess while I'm under there, we'll go ahead and remove that evil Brock that left me on the road stranded. Alright, so here it is. It's got a hose clamp there. It's in great condition. There's another one there. So we'll see if we can get those apart here. I'll start with the front one. I'm guessing there's probably going to be a little bit of gas come out of here. So if you're a smoker, it's probably something you want to either smoke your cigarette and put it out before this, or wait till you're completely covered in gasoline and then smoke. So I've got a gasoline approved factory rag here that should catch most of this. Hopefully none of this sprays in my eyes. And it'll be disposed of properly. I'll just set it there. Oh yeah, there we go. I didn't get but about half a tank on me, so that's okay. And my Fragile non-flammable mat is not soaking in it at all. It's good. It's good. So we're good. So we got a little zip tie here. Yep, knocked the phone out of my hand. So anyway, got zip tie off. Here we go. So also, forgot to mention, anytime you have gasoline and power, you want to make sure that you disconnect the battery, like before you disconnect the gas line. If any of this sparks, this is definitely going to go up in flames. The last thing I want to do is get burned up today. So I made sure I forgot to unhook the battery. So now I must get out of here and unhook the battery before I go any further, so as not to start a fire. Alright, so I've got my GM approved battery wrench here. Douglas pliers. Make sure you don't touch these two together here, because that would not be good. Alright, we've officially disconnected any type of sparking mechanisms that could happen to us now. So now we can safely go under the truck and finish disconnecting that Edelbrock fuel pump. You'll notice there is a mechanical fuel pump on this. This is one in my first attempts to get this working. I could never get that one primed. That's actually an old pump off of something that I had at my shop. Not even really sure that it even worked. But for right now, it's blocking off the hole in the side of the block where that connects to keep oil from coming out. And it's basically just a fancy cap for now. So we'll just leave that there. That's just fine. There's my wires that I ran down to the fuel pump originally. And I got a little trick to prime the fuel pump. I want to show you something I learned off another guy off YouTube. I can't remember his name, and I wish I could, because I would certainly pay him homage. It's a little trick I'll show you to get that thing primed. Okay, so we have successfully disconnected the battery. Now we don't have to worry about burning ourselves up in a fire. So next thing would be disconnect from this side. Well, there's probably not going to be any gas come out of here. A little bit. Not real bad. Again, my non-absorbing Chevrolet mat has done its job. It's not flammable, I promise. Alright, so now we've got wires we need to contend with. These come down from that little box I just showed you. Power wire. So I definitely want to cut behind this connection so not to leave this other connection in there. Ground wire goes up. It's grounded right to the frame. I don't know if it can be down there or not. See a little eyelet bolt right there. We'll be taking that off. Looks like a 1/2 inch, maybe 7/16. So let me grab what we need to do that with. Be a 7/16 or a 1/2 inch ratchet socket with a ratchet, and then while I'm up there, I'll go ahead and grab the stuff to these electrical connections, and that way we can get those out of the way as well. Actually, you know what? I think it's actually best to leave that on and make a new connection on here, because I'm not going to use this pump anymore. I mean, I might use it for siphoning or something like that, but I definitely won't use it on a vehicle anymore. So maybe I cut this down, and that way I don't have to redo that connection. But I'm definitely going to redo this connection. Good idea. Okay, so out with the old. By the way, I do have a fire extinguisher just in case. Not that I'll need it. I am a professional. So, went in and grabbed the pump and the mounting plate. And I thought about putting it on the exhaust. Like right there. But it just won't work. So instead of putting it on the exhaust, I'll mount it to the frame, I'm thinking. But if I mount it to the frame over here somewhere, it doesn't leave a whole lot of room with all these lines and things in here. It's just not a lot of room right here. So this pump is a little bit bigger, obviously, than the old pump. And this mounting bracket and all, that makes it even bigger. So I don't know that I'm gonna have enough room to install that here. Not to mention, I don't really want that right next to my exhaust. May have been what fried it last time. So as I come back here, the exhaust moves away quite a bit. I'm thinking I might put it back here. And there's all these little holes already that I could use maybe to go ahead and use those holes rather than try to drill through the frame. So let me work on that. I'm not going to bore you with that part. See if I can get something mounted like back over here, and then just route the hoses back that way. All the hoses and everything join up right here. This is where that little selecting valve and all that stuff is back in there. So Chevy likes to put it right here behind this plate on this one. So maybe we come in just back behind it here, maybe by the brake line. Let's set it that way. So before we go getting crazy and mounting this to the frame, I think I'm going to mount pump to the bracket and then the whole thing on the frame. It comes with these nice little 3/8 inlets and outlets. These are tapered threads. It's probably kind of hard to tell from the video. And I mean, you could put Teflon, you could not, or pipe dope, or whatever you use. I mean, I like to use a little bit of Teflon, maybe a little bit of pipe dope or something. I'm a plumber, so by trade, so it's hard for me to screw something in the threads with liquid going through it and not put something on it, whether it's gas related or not. These says natural gas, methane, propane, butane, petroleum, distillates, pressure not exceeding, blah, blah, blah. So it is petroleum approved. There you go, for those that think that it's not. That's called Blue Monster. Blue Monster is the best Teflon tape, in my opinion, as a plumber. And Blue Monster, if you want to sponsor me, I'd be glad to do it. Alright, let's bring you up to date. So, got the bracket mounted, inlet and outlets installed, wires are pushed on. Couldn't figure out that little clip thing, so I think this is just going to be alright. So what I did was, on the ground, just grounded it to the bolt. And on the other side, you can see how I just went through 3 times. Last thing about drilling over here is I was away from the fuel tank. Going down that way anywhere here, it's a good chance I was going to hit that fuel tank, especially over here where the old one was mounted. So even though I had to reroute the lines a little bit, that's okay. I was able to actually pull the old metal line that goes from this tank. This is the tank I'm actually using because it's a brand new gas tank. Anyway, I was able to, it was in this little congobulation of pipes here. I put a little bend in it. Yeah, bend. Got her going over this way. This way. Over here. So before I connect, I want to put a filter here. And I may put another filter down here because I don't have one of those little male by male connectors to connect into my existing line that's down there. So the easiest thing to do would just be use another filter. So that's what I'll do. So my next thing is connect this to a filter to this. I like to use the Wix 33003 clear filters. I use these because the glass ones are terrible. They start fires. These, not so much. I've had really good luck with these. Plus you can see when they get bad, dirty, how much crap they're taking on. I have a whole bunch of these, and I recommend you do too. So a lot of guys make fun of me using these. Let me tell you something, when you're on the road, just being able to jump down here and turn these off real quick and turn them back on is so cool. Also, the quality of these is a little bit better than the screwdriver ones, in my opinion. And I don't know if I'm just over torquing them or what's going on, but these, they just seem to hold better. Kind of sucks when one of these breaks off though, because there's just a little square under there. But I tell you what, these are pretty cool, man. I like them a lot. So for the guys that don't like them, kick rocks. Okay, so the line is now ran to the existing line, and I also connected the red wire that went to my old pump, ran it all the way back this way. I'll take that back in there, all the way back to there, which connects onto here. So that's now powered up, well, once I plug the battery in. And then ground is grounded to the bracket like I showed you. Everything's connected. So let's see if we can get this thing to prime now. And if it doesn't, I've got a trick for that. One other thing I want to do though, is I noticed when I bent this over, that metal line right there, imagine trying to figure out what that is knocking. So what I'll do is put a little piece of hose on this. That way it's got something to cushion it with. And we'll be good to go on that. Okay, battery's back connected. we're going to see if we can get the pump to prime itself. So let's see how this works out. Should be able to hear it. So I'm going to turn the key on. Oh, definitely hear it. Let's see if we have any fuel in her. I have no fuel there. A little fuel in this one. Let's try to get there. Okay, so this is where that little trick comes into play that I was talking about. So this is the exciter wire for that. We're going to take that off for a minute. See if this will work. I saw this on YouTube, so we'll see if this works or not. All right, so here's my little trick. 18-volt battery. I'm going to ground it to the truck. See if I can do this with one or two hands here where you can see this. Yep, you can see. Okay. So we'll take these two, touch them to the battery. There's that one. There's that one. That should be good enough ground. I'm watching this clear filter I have up here now. Not seeing nothing yet. Supposedly the more volts makes it pump harder, and supposedly it can prime itself. I don't know. Last time I did this, I had to actually suck on that line and get it primed for the filter first. Maybe what I have to do there, because that doesn't appear to be working. All right, well, I go back to my old ways. That's like that guy that says, "What? No way." Well, guess what? It didn't work. All right, got it primed. Had to put my mouth on it, throw it all back on the filter real quick. With the pump running, was able to prime it. It's running. I'd like to see a little more fuel in there. I'm not sure why that's not full. But it's running. It's not starting. Alright, well there you go folks. A little ingenuity. You can do this too. Probably take me about 45 minutes to an hour if I wasn't recording. Recording takes a little bit longer. Slow down and position the camera and get ready and things like that. But also I had a electric fuel pump already. Had I not had an electric fuel pump and I was going from like a mechanical style fuel pump, probably would have taken me a little bit longer, but not too much longer. So this is definitely something that anybody could do. Which sure makes your truck run a little bit better too. I highly recommend it. And I'll let you know through the long run how this Carter pump ends up working. Hopefully it's better than the Edelbrock rather. Alright folks, this was valuable to you. Do me a favor, like, subscribe. I could sure use some help with that. Not trying to be the big next YouTube star, but I would like to quit plumbing one day. Would be nice. Working on cars is a passion of mine, and I already feel better about myself today. So hopefully this is something you'd like to do too. And like I say, do me a favor, get out there, work on your car, get that thing running. Got a problem with it? There's somebody on YouTube that knows how to fix it. You know, look us up. Anybody that's any job. Also, I'm open to questions. If anybody has a question about something, I will bend my knowledge to the best of my ability to you. Try to get you back on the road again. I'm located down in San Antonio, Texas, so if anybody's ever traveling on the road, hit me up, man. I've got a shop, got a lot of tools. I might be able to get you back on the road again. All right, folks, have a great day.